right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show, Hour 2. We are live here in studio. Got, of course, Tyler Boyer, COO of Turning Point Action, one of the most important activists in the country. Tyler Boyer, I just want to give you some flowers, some kudos there.
Exactly.
But we're also joined this hour by a great friend of the show, great friend of Arizona, great friend of the country, a patriot, Sheriff Mark Lamb. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me on. This is a true privilege.
Yeah.
I wish Charlie were here as well with
course.
us, you know, but and my condolences to all of you guys and to everybody, the Turning Point family, and of course Erica and her kids. But he's a true patriot, and it's an honor to be on the show today.
Yeah, well, we're honored to have you here, and you know, we've got to fill the audience in on some updates because there's a lot of moving pieces. You know, we think about 2026, we think about 2028, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Tyler, you are one of the key players, I would say, nationally that is working to make sure that the conservative grassroots, I mean, Charlie always said we want Republicans in Congress, in the Senate, in the White House that are as conservative as the base. Tyler, explain, set the stage, and then we'll throw it to Sheriff Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem that we have across the country right now is we need to convince good people to run for office. And they have to be ready to go, meaning they have to have some backing, already some name ID, some understanding of what the issues are that are at hand. And, you know, that's why it's so exciting to see good people run. And I think you have some big news today, right?
I do, and I agree with you
Sheriff
wholeheartedly. And I just want to say thank you for the work that Turning Point and Turning Point Action has done, mobilizing. We changed that election. You guys changed that election for President Donald Trump. And now we have him in office. And look at what we've been able to do in 2 years, getting the border under control. It's not fixed long term, and that's where we need more patriots in office that are going to stand up and fight for American values. So I can't, like any good cop, I can't run from a fight. And so I'm announcing today my candidacy for CD5, which is East Mesa, Apache Junction, Santan Valley, Gilbert,
Boom.
South Chandler. And I'm getting in because, listen, I believe in America, and thank you. I believe in America. I believe in our history, our birthright, and I think America has a bright future, and I want to be part of it.
Well, this district is really special because this is Andy Biggs' district. So this is really, a lot of people have called this the epicenter of the Freedom Caucus because this is Andy Biggs, as we know, was the longstanding chair of the Freedom Caucus. So what does that mean to you? What's kind of your vision for why you're running for Congress, what you're hoping to do and carry on that legacy?
Well, those are big shoes to fill. Andy has been a stalwart in the Freedom Caucus. He understands the Constitution and representing his people, and he has that belief in God, family, freedom like I do, where his decisions are trying to always do what's right by his citizens and taking those three things into consideration. And so those are big shoes to fill. I'm honored to even be able to try to run and get in this position behind Andy because what he's done for I live in CD5. I couldn't be more proud to have him as a congressman. I hope to have him as a governor as well. And I hope that I can go in there. I've met with the Freedom Caucus. I want to be, back a few months ago, I met with him, told him I was thinking about this. And I truly want to be the champion for Arizona and freedom like Andy has been for the state of Arizona and for CD5 for so long. So big shoes to fill, but I'm confident that we can go in there and do it. I'm cut from the same cloth. Look, I believe in God, family, freedom. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in America. I believe in all the things that built this country. And like you said, we need proven fighters in this realm right now. We may only have a couple more years. Well, we know we've got a couple more years of President Trump. Hopefully we can take the Congress again and be able to do some really great work over the next 2 years. And we need guys that can hit the ground running. And I know that I can do that in CD5 for the people of Arizona and of CD5 and honestly for this country.
Yeah, I mean, you are so well known across the country, from your live PD days to everything.
60 days in, all that stuff.
Everything else that you've done. And then obviously you ran for Senate, very, very friendly race. I just think it was just kind of an interesting thing here. What is your plan kind of moving forward to hit the ground running because you're so well known? How do you think that you're going to be able to be a voice on behalf of Americans as soon as you get into Congress? What's What's the first thing that Mark Lamb's going to tackle?
Well, look, I pride myself on my work ethic. So first of all, you got to get into the office. We've got to work hard, and I'm going to show the people of CD5 that I'll work just as hard for them in Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of issues. The border is still something that's got to be solidified. What we saw from President Trump coming in is we didn't need more laws.
Yep.
We needed a new president. And now what we need, and a new leader, because he's truly a leader and he's taken us places that this country has been needing to go for a long time. But he needs the help. He needs the support. Andy's been there. We got to make sure that we continue with that. And so I hope to help him fix the border long term, get some long-term fixes through Congress. Yes. We want to make sure we continue to fund and support our law enforcement across this country, federal, and we want to give all the support to the states for their state and local law enforcement. Obviously, beyond that, we've got economy, we've got, Social Security, we've got a lot of other things. We've got water here in Arizona. There are a lot of issues we're going to have to dive into. We need people that have been to that, down to the Capitol, been to D.C., that have been fighting for these things for years, and I hope to be that champion. But obviously, I think the border, securing that, making sure that we get a long-term fix to the border and remove the people that have been in this country illegally, I think is some of the things that I hope to be able to help President Trump do.
Well, I have a question on that. I mean, you've seen ICE facilities get shot up. You've seen this 1,000% increase on assaults on ICE agents. I mean, I think basically most of the energy that the Dems showed with this no kings nonsense came from the immigration policies of President Trump, right? The ICE agents, they're calling it, and some of the National Guard story as well. But then you had this story that came out of Los Angeles yesterday where a federal agent was shot trying to arrest an illegal alien in L.A., and I guess the illegal alien got shot. There was a ramming incident involved. Let's go ahead and play this news report really quick, and I'm going to get your reaction to it. 2:35.
A U.S. Marshal and an illegal alien were both shot in L.A. It was during an immigration operation. Both at this time, we are told, have non-life-threatening injuries. Fox is told that federal agents surrounded and boxed in a target. That target then rammed federal vehicles in an attempt to escape. The feds fired their weapons. One U.S. Marshal was hit in his hand in what initially appears to be a bullet ricochet. The target criminal alien was hit in the elbow, we are told. Both expected to be okay, and they are at the hospital.
And then just one extra clip here, actually, that I think is really important. Democrats are announcing that they are creating a master ICE tracker now, Sheriff Lamb. 2:43.
I shared this with the mayor. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, the Oversight Committee will be launching on their website a master ICE tracker where we're going to be essentially tracking every single instance that we can verify that the community will be able to send us information on.
So this is putting a direct target on the backs of federal agents. It's endangering their lives, not to mention a clear obstruction of federal immigration law.
Absolutely. This is why we've seen, a 600 to 1,000% increase in attacks on our federal law enforcement. They're doing it because you have politicians like this who are going out, or Tim Walz saying, these guys are the Gestapo. No, they're doing the job that Congress actually lined out and said, this is why we want you to, these are the rules of being in our country, and if you come in the country illegally, we're going to remove you. And I think that the media and the politicians bear the responsibility for the violence that we're seeing against our federal law enforcement. And we need to start holding people accountable. You talk about the federal law. Title 8, Section 1324 says that it is illegal to shield, harbor, or conceal. I mean, this is shielding, harboring, and concealing anybody who you know to be in this country illegally.
And they're provoking these conflicts with ICE agents all over the country, and we're seeing this a lot in California, where they have these roving bands of volunteers that just so happen to have legal representatives standing by in case something happens. And if they happen to provoke ICE agents, who, by the way, are on high alert because they're getting shot at, they're getting attacked, they're getting their cars rammed by the Latin Kings and other groups that actually want them dead. And so then these volunteers go and try and track their movements, and they act surprised when there is a conflict that happens in the streets. We're going to continue on with Sheriff Mark Lamb in just 1 second. I'm going to tell you quickly about Alan Jackson and his podcast, Culture and Christianity, the Alan Jackson podcast. What makes this podcast really unique is that they take a biblical perspective, the truth from the Bible, and they apply it to issues we're facing today. So these are cultural issues. We all know about them. Gender confusion, abortion, immigration, like we're talking about now, Doge, Trump and the White House, issues in the church, and much, much more. And so they bring in guests that are experts on these things, and then they apply biblical perspectives to teach you how to be part of the solution in bringing this country back to a place of sanity and faith. So check it out again. That's the Culture and Christianity podcast. It's informative and encouraging, and you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe and don't miss any episodes. Alan Jackson Ministries is working hard to bring biblical truth back into our culture. You can find out more about Pastor Alan Jackson and the ministry, alanjackson.com/Charlie. That's alanjackson.com/Charlie. Check it out. He's a good man. He texts me encouragements, I can tell you. Takes an interest in the show. Check it out. We'll be right back.